Okay, Bridget, so we came out here before with Alex and you did some sampling before we planted a crop so that we'd get the right amount of nutrient there. Today we've got a crop that's growing that we want to know how much fertiliser to put on its side dressing. So it's already had sun, it's started to grow, and we want to know how much more we can justify sticking on, all right? So what we need to take into account all of those things about representative across the paddock, but we've got some new information now because 3 days ago a satellite went across, and from the free data farming site you can download the image of how much vigour and how much canopy there is in this paddock. So we can see on here that through the middle there's this patch, there's a bit of a patch down there that's got a lot more going on for some reason. That might be more vigorous plants or it might be weeds, so we need to think about that. But if we take our sampling through here, we'll be fairly representative of the whole paddock, okay? The other thing is we've got plants growing and they got some fertiliser when they were planted. So we need to think about that. So if we look at a picture here, we've got 2 rows of plants in each bed. So when they were planted, they got some fertiliser put beside the plants. So when we're sampling, we want to take into account that fertiliser, but also that not all of the paddocks got it, right? So that takes about 1/5 of the area would be maybe affected by that fertiliser. So of every 5 cores we take, we want to take 1 right beside the plant where the fert went and 4 in between where it didn't go. And then we'll get fair across the bed and fair across the paddock. Okay, Bridget, last time we were coring down to 150 millimetres, which is the standard depth. But now we're interested in how much nitrogen is available for the crop. We actually have to think about the crop root depth, which varies for all crops. So lettuces, not so much. Sweet corn, maybe as much as 1 metre. These ones here, maybe 450 millimetres. So that's not going to do the job for us, all right? We just can't get deep enough. Some people use a corer like this. So that's 150, 300. Poke it in and you've got a sample to that depth. Poke it in again and you can have it to 450, 600. Or we quite like this fella here. So this is called a Dutch auger, and we wind it in and we've got 1 depth, 2 depths, 3 depths. We just keep on going as far as we want to. All right, so maybe we'll take this one into the paddock and have a go with this one. There's a few things we've got to think about now to get a representative sample. So we're going to do quite a deep core. We're going to do 3 depths and we're going to put shallow, medium, deep. But we know that the fertiliser went in about here. So we're going to have 1 of our 5 cores in here. 1, and maybe 1 here between the plants. But we've got to get across the whole paddock as well. So the first one might be in this row, then we'll go across a bit and do the next one in here and the next one. But we keep that pattern going, then we'll be able to get a representative thing as we wander across the paddock, okay? So let's take our first sample down here where we think the fertiliser went. So just wind this in, grab the buckets before they blow away. And that's 150 millimetres deep. Right. So that sample goes into there. Some of that fell in, so I've got to get rid of that, because that's not what I'm measuring with the next lot. And this is our middle bucket. Look at this stuff here, it's totally different. Okay, so that's the first hole. So now the next hole we go across a row. So now we step outside that 20% of the way across. So if you do your next one here, then we'll get a one which is just outside that fertiliser zone. A bit further. Yep. So just try and stop that from falling into the hole. So that goes in with its cousin from the same depth, and we clear that. Oh. So you might have to use that to clear it out a little bit.
Surface stuff.
Let's throw that away. Okay, so now the second depth. Yep, and that comes into our middle bucket.
you.
Now you can take the big deep one. Okay, so we've just got a bit of soil that's fallen in from the top.
Sweet.
So we'll get rid of that because we don't want that. And we'll just take that piece there. Okay, so that's the next one. And so we'll go across a few more rows and then we'll do the next one here. And then we'll go across a bit further. Next one here, then here, and then repeat that process as we work across the paddock. All right, let's move on. Over that way.